I feel like a bunch of fears that we have are just a byproduct of a bunch of misunderstandings that we have in daily conversations. Because some of the fears that we have are some of the most confusing yet elaborate ways for our minds to play tricks on us. For example, this phobia,
Coulrophobia.
also known as the fear of clowns. I feel like our opinions on clowns changes so much every single decade. One decade, clowns are just childlike appeasers that our freaking grandparents would take. A decade later, you see them in horror movies, probably because those kids that grew up with circuses or got tired and made horror movies to like scare people away from all those clowns. But then another decade later, clowns become scary again because of fuckers that want to do freaking knife crimes and scary stuff during Halloween. And that's probably where a lot of the stuff where parents were a bit scared of like trick-or-treating because they're scared that their freaking neighbors are gonna hide an assault rifle and a nuke inside of their candies, which I understand. You want to be a reasonable parent, but really, a nuke inside of candies? Really? I feel like the general public is not really that afraid of clowns now, but I feel like now that fright from clowns turned into like lust. Because for the like past 4 years, why was there so much like gooner material for like clown? There was that one trend where that one Ace Attorney girl, people have been like making so much fan out of her. That was a stray. That was a dangerous time to be alive. Y'all are some freaks. Another dumb fear that honestly, why is this even a thing? Is
Parascapticotriophobia.
or also known as the fear of Friday the 13th. This is one of the most man-made phobias I've ever seen in my whole life. Cause why? Cause what is so different from Friday the 13th than any regular day? I feel like this one is one of the few actual like fun phobias. Cause like there's not really any like real harm from like this phobia. The biggest players in driving this phobia is obviously the Friday the 13th movies, which I wonder if we were still gonna talk about like fearing Friday the 13th as this franchise starts to slowly dies in like 50 to 60 years. I feel like the best part about this phobia is when it's Friday the 13th and it's within the month of October. It adds even more scary vibe to the spooky month of October. But aside from that, there's not really that much to say about freaking fearing Friday the 13th. It's a day, come on. Give me a better day, like freaking day of like reckoning or something, I don't know. Not all dumb fears though, I will say, are like always dumb. There's like some nuance to it that like gives it a bit of validity. Because there's also this fear which is
Trypophobia.
which is also known as the fear of holes. Which, hey, this fear is like giga popular with people. And I get it. It gives this like crawling sensation every time that you see something with a bunch of small holes. The worst cases of this fear is when you see this effect of a bunch of holes on like living beings. I feel like we associate this fear with like mutilation because it doesn't even feel real, but there's like so many objects in nature that have like biology, which honestly grosses me out so much. I feel like it looks like something got freaking ran through by a shotgun, which I recognize it's a dumb fear. It's like, because when is that really gonna happen to you? Realistically, I can only imagine that happening to you if you went into one of those cities at night. Otherwise, I don't really see that happening to anyone, which is good. I don't want it to happen. I feel like this one is one of the few dumb fears that are like hella valid. They're super valid. Which honestly, technically, there is also another one, which would be
Barophobia.
which is the fear of gravity. I feel like early on, fearing gravity was like super useful for like caveman people, because like if they were like chasing a prey and that prey led them to like some freaking cliff and they were able to like jump and be fine, but as soon as our ancestors saw that shit and they were like, oh hell right, jumping, I'm good. I feel like fearing gravity is more linked with the fear of like falling. You're not really scared of like floating, because floating actually kind of excites you. It's kind of cool. But I get like having, I guess, like high intense gravity being scary, because when you go to like amusement parks, there's a lot of people that really don't like the rides at the amusement parks, which I get it. It's like intense gravity, it's super uncomfortable, but like at the same time, that's why I like amusement parks. I don't go to amusement parks as much as I used to, but they're not bad. I like them. For me, the only bad part about amusement parks is the freaking price gouging of like the food over there and the freaking long ass lines they have. As I grow older, I hate with a passion waiting in line for something. Now every time I'm like, nah, let's just go for another ride where there's like less people, because I'm like, I value my time way better now. I don't want to do that. I feel like there's better stuff to do. Anyway, there was a lot of more fears that I had, but this video started to get long, so tell me in the comments some of your dumb fears, and maybe one day I'll do a part 2 to this video. So, see ya.